and welcome back to the 10 words game. I'm gonna say 10 words and our guest is gonna say the first thing that comes to his mind. We have a special guest today. Nick, you wanna introduce yourself for the audience here today?
Hello everyone, my name is Nick Vujicic. So glad and thank you Streann for what you do.
Fantastic. So again, let's go. 10 words, first thing that comes to your mind. Nick, the first word today is YouTube.
Restricting anybody.
Direct to consumer.
Social selling is the next phase of marketing, distribution, and monetization, which will make many giants bankrupt.
Mission.
To be true to yourself and be true to the world with no BS telling everyone what they can find in their life in purpose, in value, and also dreaming big to make the world a better place without compromising just because somebody else says something.
Opportunity.
Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. The biggest crisis brings the biggest opportunities.
Team.
So freaking important to make sure that you have people around you that have the right heart, mind, soul, spirit, even before a skill. Now, not compromising skill, but based on their track record. You put that together and making sure you have a team together that entrepreneurially you make sure that on your business plan that once you've all sat around the table and signed up on a business plan, that you take a second. And in that second and minute, you kind of go through one more filter in that business plan. This is a great business plan, but if it takes twice as long, three times as long, twice costly, and half revenue, if it still makes sense, then you move forward.
Love it. Virtual reality.
The way of the future, absolutely. Right after social selling, virtual reality, and also home experiential virtual reality. I believe in 10 years from now, each home will have a lounge room actually exclusively put aside for the family virtual reality, experiential, educational, and traveling revolution, because I think a lot of people will not be traveling in 10 years' time.
Social media.
It will always exist and always needs to be used, and we'll have probably another 3 revolutions of main brands, and there will be a division like never before. There is a forced division between people's value systems and beliefs, where you're either on this side or that side, and if you don't need to choose yet which side you're in, you're only 3 years away from actually having to decide.
Comments on social media, which is a big topic, especially for the youngsters.
I have forced myself, with 14 million social media fans, being on 2 billion people's television sets, I had to not look at comments when I post, because you say one thing and you'll have enemies. So get used to people not agreeing with you and be okay with people leaving.
Advice to a 20 to 30-year-old, and there's a lot of them in this room right now.
You have to read Money Secrets of the Rich by John R. Burley if you don't have financial literacy, and if you don't have independent mindset on getting on your own 2 feet like my parents taught me when I was 6 years old. I don't know how your financial future is going to look like. I don't care what job you have right now. Your job may not exist in 10 years.
Probably will not.
And probably not. So get with it. Understand financial literacy, investments. Understand the history of the world. Not just because what people say. Learn through documentaries that are still not blocked yet. Learn from the history. Learn from social revolutions. I say this not because of blah, blah, blah. My parents got knocked on the door of, my mom was 6, when their Yugoslavian government communism regime took over their entire household. farm, possessions, and say, this is not your house anymore. My grandparents were in jail because of their faith. I'm a grandchild of that. I am a Serbian descent, Australian-born US citizen married to a Japanese Mexican with 4 children, with a global presence. Don't play the victim card. Take responsibility. Learn what you can. And don't just complain about 2 billion people going hungry and 60 million human trafficked people in the world. Do something about it.
The diversity.
Yes. I love everyone. No matter who you are, great. I am not oppressing anybody nor dividing anybody. I love everyone. I'm commanded by my God to love everyone. But if you ask me why I'm not in line with your belief system, don't judge me for that either. And if there is a segment of a minority group who gets a bigger spotlight than another minority group, then I can argue that's also bullying and not free trade. So, let's not forget all the other minorities.
Love it. Streaming.
Streaming?
Yeah.
Freaking way of the future. It is unbelievable. I believe that Streann is going to be the biggest disruptor in the world and will centralize a decentralization of the current prostitution of content. And I believe in 7 years, all content's going to be free.
Love it. Last 2. There are more than 10.
Cool. Yeah, I'm like, I don't have 10 fingers, but it sounds like I'm counting on my fingers.
Cryptocurrency.
You have to be able to comply compatibility. I have never endorsed crypto, nor have I ever invested in crypto. It's scary to me that if I truly believe that 70 people run 90% of the world, that it's only a matter of time before they have a meeting and then say 90% of these cryptocurrencies that are there go to zero and this is the new one, and let's all jump on that train, which means that if you've ever invested in a crypto blah blah blah, that the United Nations, United Nothing, actually says something is yes and something is no, then your investment actually may go to zero. So just be so careful. But if you're not how would you say, compatible with crypto in the next 3 years, you know what they're actually saying on the nonprofit level, because I'm actually been in the nonprofit world for 15 years in America. The IRS endorsement, audit, mandatory education, if nonprofits are not somehow compatible within 4 years from now with crypto, they will lose 30% of revenue.
Amazing.
So you have to be compatible.
Yeah.
Be careful. It's freaking scary.
You gotta have a gut for it. And the last one, most important one, probably God.
God, He is there whether you believe or not. He loves you whether you feel or not. He has a greater plan, better than any plans that we have. And the God of love, allowing suffering to happen, know that that suffering didn't come from Him. But what the enemy tried to use for bad, God can use for good. And if God can use a man without arms and legs to be his hands and feet, God can use any willing heart. And you're here on earth not to live a comfortable life. If you know your purpose and you know why you're here and where you're going when you're not here, then you also understand and say yes to the Great Commission, which is go to tell somebody else that there's only one cure of death, which is resurrection, the only one, Jesus Christ, in my personal belief system. And so when you are going through hell on earth, it's a good place. You want to know why? Because that means you're standing in front of the gates of hell and redirecting traffic. And there's no other place that I'd rather be than exactly where God wants me to be. I love you.
Love you too. Nick, thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode of the 10 Word Game.
Peace. Love you, Gio.
Ciao.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Streann. Don't forget to subscribe below, hit that notification bell, and hey, check out some new videos.